I think it's important to, lead our districts, our teachers to, finishing out the year strong. And I can think of a lot of things that would help engage these last 2-3 weeks of school, but also preparing them or figuring out what they should have for the summer. We should be thinking about that as well. We want to give them some resources, and maybe I'm working on some resource pages with some of the districts that we work with, the teachers, helping them build the resources that they need for their students. Reading list, you usually see this primarily in the elementary level, but also helping with the middle school and the high school level of trying to say, here are some things that you can play with, work with, whether it be to type faster or to read better, and games on how to use the computer or the Chromebook better, that kind of stuff. So working on that and building that through Google Sites
Cool.
or stuff like that. So
I think that's a really great thing. And I'm glad that you've got things that right this minute we're able to share.
Yeah, well, and I can't wait to hear about Judy's a little bit more into detail, but I thought I'll take a couple minutes to maybe talk about video production or multimedia production kind of stuff.
Well, why don't you go ahead and do that, and then we can listen to Judy here for a little bit on some of the great ideas she has.
Yeah, because I keep thinking about the social emotional aspect and the getting to know your students, the connection, the relationship stuff. And instantly, I think when we work on multimedia, that was when I best got to know my students. Like, they were always doing videos and writing their own scripts and their storyboards and all that kind of stuff. And I got to know my kids a lot better. I still have really good relationships with those kids as adults now, because I got to have a great connection with them. And so I was thinking maybe, and I'll share my, share my screen here, about creating these like a video or a poster or writing a story. It could be any of these things, but I always like to show teachers Storyboard that. It is Google single sign-on. I just click create Storyboard. Now, I always, based on my 10 years of experience teaching, I never let students start a project, whether it's a story, a video, even if it's a multifaceted brochure, or like it's going to have like a Glogster. You guys remember Glogster, where it had the audio file, you could have a video file in there, you could have a picture, you could have, but it was a poster, a digital poster that you created that had all these wonderful things in it. Even if they're doing something like that, I always make them draw out a plan and storyboard. That is a nice way to do stories. Start your story or start your understanding of that. And I'm just going to show two things, and then it's actually very intuitive for people to play with it. So if I go layout, I can create a storyboard that looks like a traditional storyboard that, like, we've seen used at WBGU and local stations around here. And I can do a 6-cell or I can do a 3-cell. So that's the first thing I show students. I've done this with students and they love it. And then the second thing I show students is you go up here and you're like, I want a scene. So I want it to be country rustic. I want it to be, I'm going to be talking about my plans or the perfect summer, what I want to do this summer. And so I'm going to just drag that down there. I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm going to drag this over there and I just drag it on there. Oh, now I need a person. I could lay out all my scenes. But now I need a person, and I want my person to be a medieval person, or, whatever, monster or myth. And I'm going to talk about, the perfect summer. I'm going to be playing sports, and this looks a lot like me. So you're just dragging things down, and you can see at the top, it goes scenes, characters, items, speech bubble, shapes, blah, 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 more. This is the free version. I love it. If something's selected, you can alter it. So now that this dude is selected, I can go over here and make him sit down, and then I can give him a fishing pole or something like that. Change the way his head's tilted. you know, like make him happy and, you know, change the things like that, make him sitting down. There we go. And then update pose. And then I can move him to right there. So it looks like he's sitting down. Of course, he's a soccer kid, so he wouldn't be fishing in his soccer uniform. But, and then the third thing I show teachers is when I'm done, if I hit save, it's going to ask me to log in, and I can log into my Google. The neat thing about Storyboard that is I can make 2 of them free a week for free. If I go over that, then it's going to ask me to update to premium. And there's some other little things. I've never found anything super important to pay for it. But Storyboard that is kind of cool. And I use it for all of my outlining, all my storyboarding video kind of projects with students.
Okay,
I love what I'm seeing in the Storyboard that, and I wanted to chime in on the free version. You know, even if, and this is true of most teaching resources, even if you think you might want the paid version, start with the free version. And this allows it allows you 6 different frames, 6 different cells. You know, that's enough, especially for your students. You know, you don't want them to be designing the next Top Gun movie. You know, explain, you know, or show or illustrate a simple concept, you know, very clearly. And, you know, even 3 different shots or frames in your video. I mean, that should be enough to get kids started and help them focus on what is my message? What do I want to say? So I love what I'm seeing. I haven't played with Storyboard that, but I love storyboarding, and this is really cool. And Judy, I'm sorry, you started to say something.
This is really super. Now, Tanya, they record video over their different blocks here?
No, this is just the pre. So before I start using WeVideo or Canva or Adobe Spark, which are the 3 things that I always say are good ones, WeVideo will allow you to produce 5 minutes of video for free a week, or a month, sorry. And Canva is very comparable to Adobe Spark, where you can do different things. I can choose to do a poster. I can choose to do a video, an audio. There's a bunch of things. So Canva and Adobe Spark, which has now been changed to Adobe Express, will allow you to do videos, audio files, just any kind of multimedia thing that you want the student to express themselves on. It'll even allow them to make a social media page or a slideshow, and that will be where all the finalized audio, video, multimedia stuff will be. Storyboard is just a wonderful tool to help the students plan their idea. That way they know where they're going. They have their blueprint. Now they can go to WeVideo and create that video. They know in the first scene, they're going to have a video shot of them sitting on the dock and they're enjoying their summer. And then the second scene is a friend comes up and they decide to go get a canoe, and you know, whatever the story is going to be. So the kids are creating the story here in the 6 cells, and then they go and build it for real in WeVideo or Canva or Adobe Express kind of thing. And definitely have some of these videos already done in our asynchronous videos where people can go and see. Actually, I have a whole thing on social emotional about Storyboard that. So they could go and learn more details about Storyboard that, WeVideo, and I'm pretty sure Adobe Express, not Canva, but.
And I think in next week's program, we're going to be showing people how you can look at those videos, those instructional videos that we've already had recorded. And frankly, you know, pick up if you need a few PD hours to finish up your license requirements. We're going to show you how you can get into them, and what a great thing to do. There's one other thing I want to talk about with what you're showing here. It is never too early and it's never too late to prepare your students for their next year of learning. And I mean, it may seem like it's too late to do this, but how fantastic it would be if you could introduce this to your students and then work with whoever is going to be teaching them next year, and maybe it's you, but work with the classes they're going to be in when they come back in the fall, so they can use summertime to take some video clips and to kind of focus what they're doing. Don't just say take pictures of whatever, but use the storyboard to help them think, what do I want to record this summer? I mean, it might be plant growth and changes. It might be recreation activities, different, might be how I can maintain my physical fitness over the summer if I don't have summer training available in my sport. There's a world of things you could help the students say, take some videos, put together a story on ways that you can continue working toward your goals over the summer. And from the teachers, as a teacher that I talk with, whoever they're going to be coming back, sports is a wonderful example. If you're moving from, junior high up to high school, work with the coach, English language arts, science, whatever it is, work with the teacher, the next teacher your kids are going to see, in terms of what can I do to help them get some ideas and to do some learning over summer, and what better way to document that learning in a video. So this is really cool. I'm excited about it in many different ways. And again, as I said, I love storyboarding, and this is just one of the most fun ways to storyboard I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is really, really cool. And it makes me want to tell everybody about the way they can share their videos with other schools, with other students here in Ohio. Book Nook in an Info Ohio, if I can really quickly share my screen and go to infoohio.org and know that in all of the different grade bands, I'm not sure on the age 3 to 5, but there's Book Nook, and there's examples of ones that other students in Ohio have created. And I would love to see more students from Northwest Ohio put their Book Nook video up. And it can be a slideshow, it can be many different formats. And there is actually guidelines for students and for the teacher materials that will tell what formats they can use. But I am sure Canva and the other one you showed us are going to be ways that, but again, there's so many different things. I see Berea City Schools, Barnesville has 2 groups, but the students they've probably read books over this last school year, but they could be working on this now that most of their tests are either this week or they've already had them. So the teachers don't need to be thinking about, do I have to be teaching to the test right now? So I'd like to see more students put their thing, and they are vetted. Not everyone that's submitted a course is accepted. There is a jury out on, that does look at what's submitted. And
Judy, I'm somewhat familiar with that. I mean, basically, they're not looking for things that are, they're not going to reject it because of quality. They just want to make sure that you're saying appropriate things based on the age and grade of the kids.
I'm sure there's a time limit. I don't actually know what it is, but again, they can't use too much music. I know that's one of the requirements. You're not in it to violate copyright on music. So those kind of things are definitely examined when they decide to post. But right now there's 3 up there. There are multiple, there's hundreds that you can view. And it can be the same book. It doesn't have, just because somebody else did the book Little House in the Big Woods, there can be 20 on that one because they'll all be different. So that's just my take on it. Roger, you had something else to add?
No, I think it's a tremendous resource, and it's another fun idea. It's good for kids of any age. And you can always, one of the ways you might use this as a teacher, to encourage summer reading is, I would like you to read 2 or 3 books this summer that you think you might make a book Nook with when you come back in the fall. And again, this is where partnering with the teacher they're going to have when they return to school would be, to work with them and just so that there's a continuity of learning and the kids have something to look forward to. And I mean, these things are fun and engaging. And I mean, everybody likes to have, their stuff shown to the world, and just another
And I
great
mean,
example. Yeah.
the students can work in teams or by themselves. It doesn't matter. That's not a requirement. Just do it individually. There's so many different options that they can do for Book Nook.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I
Okay,
mean,
cool.
that's all I had. And it looks like we're exactly at 15 minutes here. Did anyone want to share any other resources?
I've got a dozen, but I think our time is up. And the one thing I really do want to point out is, like, next week, we'll show you how you as a teacher might be able to extend your summer learning and pick up those last few hours you need of a PD certificate in order to renew your teaching license. Yeah,
and we will have this week on our website that you see on the screen right now, we will have links to all the resources that Judy and I introduced and talked about. And if there are asynchronous videos, we'll definitely have a link to our YouTube channel that has all of our online PD video recordings of us talking about specific tools and how to use them in more detail, more than what we just did this morning. So we thank you for joining us. And as always, you can email us, all of us, at nwet.org. Our last name is the first part of it. So Sanders at nwet.org, Tucker at nwet.org, and Manir at nwet.org. And all of those are at the end of this video. So stay to the very end and you can see how you can contact us, reach out and ask questions in regards to any technology resources. So we appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next week when we talk about how you can prepare resources for your students and evaluate your students to help them move on to the next year and be successful without losing that time over the summer. So, all right, thank you, and have a great day.
Cool. Bye.